Cast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Well, good morning and welcome to UCEA's YouTube Live. This is Scott Richardson, Graduate Research Assistant and Doctoral Student at UCEA headquarters at the University of Virginia. I'm here today to interview Shelby Cosner as part of her candidacy for the UCEA Executive Committee. Today, listeners will be hearing from Dr. Cosner, a professor at the University of Illinois at Chicago. Her research interests include organizational change, leadership for school improvement, principal preparation development, and principal preparation program improvement. Welcome, Dr. Cosner.
Good morning, Scott. It's great to be here.
Yeah, good. Let's begin with the first question. Please tell us about your background and your scholarship as it relates to leadership preparation and practice.
Great. So first, let me say that it's really an honor to be nominated to serve on UCEA's executive committee. I really have a strong duty of care to our organization and to our broader field of educational leadership. And I'm really eager to play a role in advancing UCEA's work and impact on the field of educational leadership in the coming years. Related to my work, it really is tightly aligned with the mission and goals of UCEA. And for me, I feel like UCEA is my intellectual home. I'm a professor at the University of Illinois at Chicago, and I'm the director of UCEA's Center for Urban Ed Leadership. I'll tell you just a little bit about the center broadly, and then I'll tell you about my research. At the center, we engage in research, development, dissemination, and policy advocacy, and we're really focused on work that disrupts the systematic inequality that affects the lives of K-12 urban students, and to improve the educational outcomes and life opportunities of K-12 urban school students locally and throughout the world. My work that lives within the center is a little bit narrower. And it centers on improving leadership preparation and really thinking about how preparation programs improve, how they use continuous improvement approaches, thinking about aspects of strong preparation, for example, leadership coaching, leader learning designs. And then outside of that, a second strand of my research examines the cultivation of organizational capacities. I'm really interested in how schools create social and human resources in their work to support school improvement, and particularly how this work is taken up by leaders in under-resourced and underserved urban schools.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, you have served for several years in many capacities and also as a plenary session representative. Tell us about your engagement in UCEA's governance.
Yeah, so this first question specifically looks at governance, and a later question examines UCEA more specifically. I've been a part of the plenary since 2012, 2013, and since that time I've attended every plenary meeting and participated on various decision points that we engage in our plenary session. This year I'm going to be missing the plenum meeting because I'm a part of an international research team that's investigating school leader development in developing an Eastern context, and our team, unfortunately, is meeting in Doha, Qatar at the start of UCEA's convention.
Okay.
So this will be the first time I miss a plenum meeting, but I'll be flying back from Doha and landing in New Orleans for the back end of the convention, and we'll be eager to see people then. Beyond my work on the plenum, this year I led UIC's proposal submission to become the next headquarters in the intellectual home for UCEA. I'm excited to report that at this moment we are one of 3 institutions that are finalists in this competition. Mm-hmm. And so in terms of really thinking about UCEA's governance, our team at UCEA is really strongly committed to supporting UCEA's governance over the next 5 years, and we're really hoping that we become the next headquarters.
Well, this question seems a little underwhelming given what you've already discussed, but in what other ways have you engaged with UCEA?
Yeah, I've been really involved in UCEA, and I had the good fortune when I was at UW-Madison as a graduate student. I started there in 2001. The professors at UW-Madison immediately got me engaged in UCEA, so I've been attending conventions since 2001. And in 2003, I was a David L. Clark seminar participant. Mm-hmm. And so since that time, I've been involved in many projects on behalf of UCEA. I'll try to go through some of the key ones. I've served on UCEA's publications board for a number of years now, and on the editorial board for Educational Administration Quarterly. I was a member of EAQ's 2017 Davis Award Review Team, and I was I participated on the team that selected the most recent EAQ editorial home. I've served on the Journal of Research on Leadership Education as an editorial board member, and right now I'm currently serving as a guest editor for a forthcoming JRLE special issue. For about 5 years, I've also led the review committee for UCEA's Exemplary Educational Leadership Preparation Program Award. As a part of that, I've worked with UCEA to develop and enhance all the materials that are used to review programs that submit for the award. I've provided webinars to help UCEA programs learn about the competition and to help them to consider various elements for putting together a strong application. I've also met with individual program leaders to help them better understand the competition and the submission process. Now, more recently, over the last several years, UCEA has designed and has been enacting a networked improvement community initiative and their work to support the improvement of programs throughout the country. Several years ago, I served as the lead designer and facilitator of a 2-day site visit for UCEA's NIC members to travel to UIC to really learn about our program,
Right.
as it was designed to help them think about their curriculum improvement community and their curriculum improvement work. So the UCEA Improvement Network and their KIC NIC is a group that I've supported over that last 2-year period of time, first through the site visit, but also I've remained engaged as an external thought partner to the KIC NIC. Beyond the programs that came to participate in our 2-day site visit and my work with the KIC NIC, I've also facilitated and led a number of additional program site visits to UIC for UCEA member institutions when individual programs want to come and do a 1- or 2-day visit. And then over the last 3 years, I've been a part of the Wallace Foundation's UPPI project that is designed to help 7 programs throughout the country redesign their preparation programs. And I am leading UIC's mentor program partner support of that handful of programs, some of which are UCEA member institutions. So I've got a great deal of work experience in helping UCEA member programs go through processes of continuous improvement to support ongoing program improvement. On behalf of UCEA, I've also engaged in 2 national advisory or work groups that are related to program evaluation or program improvement. One was a number of years ago. It was an ARA UCA, or pardon me, a New Leaders UCA national project on the evaluation of school leader preparation. And one is a very current project that's ongoing that's bringing together ARA and UCA. It's a joint national research agenda planning team. And so I've been involved in both of those projects. And then over the years, I've been regularly tasked by UCA in various mentoring and support activities, both for graduate students and for early career scholars. And so that usually takes the form of being on a variety of panels at UCA conventions on topics like academic writing or gaining external funding. And then lastly, last year at the 2018 convention, I had the great honor of receiving UCA's Master Professor Award. So that gives you just a sense of some of the things that I've done or been engaged with related to UCA over the last X number of years.
Well, is there anything, you know, you've touched on so many things, but if you could go into just a little more detail on any of your scholarship, research projects, teaching, service that can inform the work of UCEA, particularly for the executive committee.
Yeah, no, I've given the thought of the executive committee a lot of consideration. I feel like over the last year, I've been in a position to learn a great deal about the work of the executive committee through much more sustained interactions with the executive committee and with executive committee members, also with current and former executive director, and also current and past presidents. So I think I've been in a really good position to deepen my understanding of the EC role, and that's helped me to think about how I could contribute as an EC member. I think that, as I'd said before, my research really lives within the work of UCA, and so I think for my own research, there are many things that I could bring to the work of the executive committee. As the executive committee is thinking about supporting programs that are continuously improving, as the executive committee is thinking about supporting research that helps our field move forward, and helps our field to think about what strong leader preparation or leader preparation and development look like. I think my research can support that. I've had a sustained program of research in the area of leadership coaching, both for leaders in preparation and for leader development. And I think I have generated a lot of findings that could inform various EC projects. I also am taking up a current study right now on activist-oriented leadership. And I know that issues of social justice leadership and activist-oriented leadership are near and dear to all of our members in UCA. And so I think findings from this study could be really relevant to the EC's work. I am engaged in a really large international study of leader development in Eastern and developing contexts, and really trying to think about how to learn about what's happening in those contexts and how to think about what's portable from what we're doing in the US to those settings, and how to build much stronger bridges to our international leader development community. And so I think I can be a really important asset to the executive committee and to UCA as we're thinking about expanding our footprint and our reach to more international contexts. I spent a week in India in August to really examine leader development in that context, and had the chance to really develop relationships with a variety of global philanthropists and global leader developers. And I'm going to be continuing that work in Doha, Qatar, and then on in Marrakesh, Morocco in January, and then to Vienna and Colombia in 2020. And so I do have a lot of ideas about how we can continue to deepen our work in the United States, but really build stronger bridges to a global leader development community and to the global group of people really interested in educational leadership. I want to say also that, you know, my experience at UIC, I've been there since 2005, and in 2013 our program was identified as one of the first exemplary educational leadership preparation program award winners from UCA's competition. And my work in that program has really allowed me to strengthen my expertise in continuous improvement of leadership preparation programs. And so in sort of all work that touches on improving leadership preparation and leader development, I think that I can play a role in our EC deliberations and work. You know, I've talked a lot about my service work through UCA, and so I think a lot of that sort of speaks to projects that the EC might be involved with. But I'm really interested in working with others. What I've learned in my work at UIC in particular is that, you know, the program that we have at UIC is because there are 15 of us that really have locked our arms together in service of our program, of our students in our city of Chicago. And so, you know, my thinking with the executive committee is that you've got a group of people from across the country that are really working together collectively to have an impact on our field, to have an impact on UCA members. And I think that, you know, I have a number of ideas that I can bring to bear on that collective work.
Yes, and thank you for sharing all of that, Dr. Cosner. This last question is a bit more personal. If you wouldn't mind just sharing the reasons why you, in particular, are choosing to run for the executive committee, and what your personal vision is for the future of UCEA.
Yeah, so, you know, my personal reason, I have a strong commitment to UCA. You know, as I said, as a grad student at UW-Madison in 2001, I began attending UCA. It is my intellectual home. I feel that the organization has given me, my program at UIC, our students at UIC, our city of Chicago, it's had so much of an impact on me and all of my worlds, and I want to be able to give back to that. I think that I'm choosing to run because I believe I could have an impact. I believe I could be a key contributor on our executive committee. I believe I can help our organization think about its next edges of growth and our ways of really impacting the grandest challenges in our field and in our country and across our globe as it relates to leader development. Mm-hmm. And so with that in mind, I'm really strongly committed to being a part of helping our organization in the field move forward. And I believe that UCA is the organization that will have sort of the greatest impact on our field moving forward.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for your time and your thoughtful responses, Dr. Cosner.
Thank you so much. I'm looking forward to seeing everybody at UCA in New Orleans in a few weeks.
Absolutely. This interview will be archived on the UCEA YouTube channel. Listeners can access or share this interview at any time. We also encourage listeners to post comments and questions on this interview in the comments section. So thank you all very much, and goodbye for now.